Thank you so much for joining us for this very exciting webinar today. We are so happy and grateful that you've come to join us for this, and we're really, really excited to share with you this opportunity to hear directly from some of our incredible partners firsthand for the first time. My name is Madeline Scordelis, and I am the Restoration Partnerships Manager at Tree Sisters. So it is my great privilege to work closely with our partner organisations. And so I am extremely happy to be extending that connection to you all today. So I would love, before we begin, to invite you just to take a moment to bring your awareness to your connection with the earth and to your connection into the global forest, through the tree roots and the mycelium, connecting across the earth to all the places where we are collectively supporting these wonderful restoration projects. Just taking a moment to feel that connection. And I would like to thank our very special speakers for being with us here for this event. We're super excited to hear from you all and hear more about your beautiful work. And I will introduce you all shortly. And still, while holding that awareness of our interconnectedness, I'd love to invite everyone to share in the chat your name, where you're joining us from, and what inspired you to be here today. And just to say, we do have quite a big group with us, so we've kept everyone's cameras off and muted, just to, preserve the bandwidth for our speakers above all. And also, some of our speakers will be speaking in Spanish. So if you could please turn on the translated caption option for your Zoom and select the caption language in English, or whatever language you want to receive captions in. So the instructions for that are going to be in the chat. And also, if you have any tech issues or questions during the event, please write to Tree Sisters in the chat, where Ria or Emily will pick up your messages. So again, welcome and thank you, everyone. And before we hear from our speakers, I would like to just briefly share a little bit of the context from Tree Sisters. So if you could put up the slides, please, Ria. Okay, so, and going on to the second slide. So our vision at Tree Sisters is a world where nature and people flourish in connection, equity, and harmony. And the next slide, please. So to support that vision, we work with a restoration strategy which is focused around going beyond just counting trees and integrating the holistic aspects of restoration work. So that for us includes gender equity and women's empowerment. It includes supporting community-led projects and focusing on a nature-led biocultural restoration approach. And moving on to the next slide, please. Currently at Tree Sisters, we are supporting 10 projects across 7 countries with 12 partner organisations. And the truth is that it is our partners who make our vision a reality. They work tirelessly with phenomenal dedication, working with communities and women to restore their landscapes. And we are consistently grateful for them, for all that they do. And our intention today is to share that with you because we're always so inspired by them. We wanted to create the opportunity for all of our supporters and network to have experienced that connection. So this is why we've invited some of them to join us today so that you can hear directly from them about everything they're doing. So if we could turn off the slides now, please. Okay, and we've chosen to focus today on women in restoration because women have always been at the heart of Tree Sisters' mission. And, we're so happy now that most of the projects that we are supporting are either led by women or are directly supporting livelihoods and well-being for women. And the reality is that women are both highly vulnerable to the impacts of ecosystem damage and environmental harms, but also hold so many keys to the solutions what we need on the earth at the moment. So this is why we've invited these partners to come and speak to you about how they are working with women in the projects and to share their stories. So today we have joining us from Kenya. We have Mercy Kimani, who is Kenya Programs Manager at International Tree Foundation. Hi, Mercy. We have Dorothy Naitore, who is the Secretary of the Meru Forest Environmental Conservation and Protection Community Forest Association in Kenya. Hi, Dorothy. Thank you for being here. We also have, who will be joining us on the screen in just a few moments, from Kasisi, Uganda. We have the wonderful team of Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative. So we have Masika Margaret, the chairperson. We have Ngangasi Celeste, who is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer. And we have Masika Elder, who is Extension Officer for Rukoki. And from our wonderful partners in Colombia, we have Mariana Garcia Morales, who is responsible for communications at local NGO Cordespa, and Maria Isabel Gonzalez, who is the legal representative of the Ayukuna Association of Women Entrepreneurs. So thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy work to be here with us today. We are so privileged to have your presence with us. And to our audience, while you're hearing from the partners, if you have any questions or comments for them, please do put those in the chat and hopefully we'll have some time for questions towards the end. Okay, so let's begin with Kenya. So Mercy and Dorothy, thank you so much for being here with us. So Tree Sisters has been supporting this project, which is restoring the forests around Mount Kenya with our partner International Tree Foundation since 2016. And this project has truly gone from strength to strength. It's been a wonderful journey to go alongside. And over the last 8 years, they have restored 200 hectares of forest and worked with over 2,500 local community members. So Mercy, who's here with us, she manages the project on behalf of ITF, and Dorothy, who's here, represents the women-led Community Forest Association, MEFECAP, that ITF has been working with on this project. So Mercy, could we please start with you? And would you please be willing to share about the overall intention of the project and how you have been working with women?
Thank you, Madeline, and thank you for having us and for listening, giving us the opportunity to share. In overall, I'll be very brief about the overall intention of the project. It is to grow trees, to restore lands, to increase the tree covers. Kenya tree cover has been quite low, together with the local communities, because the local communities are at the heart of restoration. And we do this in a useful way, so in a manner that is useful to local communities, to give them a means to improve their lives and even to prosper, so that we have the trees growing and we have the communities also empowered, and especially with a particular focus on women as the nurturers of nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercy. And would you be willing to share a couple of your favorite stories about how the project is benefiting women?
I think I'll start by enhancing the importance of women in restoration, because women have been at the heart of restoration, especially in our projects. And the most successful projects are those that are led by wonderful women like Dorothy and more others. Number one, women are the ones that provide the indigenous knowledge. You realize that in Kenya, we have user groups. User groups are given to the communities that live within the boundaries of the forests. And women have the user group of forests for collecting firewood. Because as you know, in Kenya or in Africa, most of the chores that women are involved in are the household chores that are just non-productive jobs that are not paid. So when they're collecting the firewood, They do specific duties that are very wonderful to the restoration. They identify mother trees. So the women are the ones that take lead in seed sourcing, in providing the indigenous knowledge on where the trees are seeding, what trees have been fallen where, and what we can collect. So apart from seed sourcing, they collect those seeds and bring to the nurseries. As ITF, we have been providing capacity building and training, especially on tree nursery establishments, which is a chore that has been taken up very well by women, because women are able to tend to the same way we tend to our babies, seedlings, to see them grow. So once they're done the propagation through the training and capacity awareness that is provided to the community. Apart from that, women take charge of transplanting. They're involved in the tree planting activities. Of course, this is incentivized through the support of Tree Sisters Project, which also increases an income for the trees or for the communities, both men and women, but the focus more is on women. Actually, the number of people that the women are 70-30. So you find you have 70% women working because they're the ones who are readily available. Most of the men in our community normally have employed jobs or other chores that they do outside the home. Then we also have that is on the forest side. We also have the agroforestry, because this project focuses on not just growing trees in the forest, but growing trees of value in the communities. And women are the ones who are normally homemakers. We normally remain back at home. So they're the ones who participate mainly in the growing of the agroforestry trees. They might not have the user rights, but they have the user right in the farmlands, but they might not be owners of the land, but they control what goes into the farm, and they're able to plant fruit trees and also establish woodlots that will ease the pressure of the women going to the forest to collect firewood, and also provide feed from the tree, the nutritional aspect the fruits, and the sale of 2016-2017. We have TED, and women are able to cultivate those trees, to cultivate the fruits and feed their children. And through the empowerment that has been enhanced along the way, they are also able to collaborate together with their husbands and sell the surplus and provide for their families, or even participate in. Overall, what this project has done for the women is important. It helps them create an awareness and dignity. It provides dignity to the woman, because it's dignified to be able to bring food on the table. It also reduces the issues of gender-based violence, because now they are able to bring, and they are valued. They are able to bring something on the table. Their value is also able to be noticed. And then there's the general well-being of the woman feeling that they belong and they are capable and they are dignified, they are important. They can also bring something on the table and fend for themselves and make decisions. I think I'll give Dorothy an opportunity to speak so that I don't exhaust all the points that they are, but there are very many things that women do in terms of restoration and in participation to this project, which includes the eco-stoves. We have a pilot project by Tree Sisters, and trainer come and train a group of women to be able to do the installation. And the eco-stoves that are installed are made from locally sourced materials. Nothing is imported. And so it's possible for the woman to do it. We now have, I think, 9 qualified trained. We can say they are already trained and qualified because they are already installing the eco stoves to other communities. And the eco stoves has many benefits, which I would like we hear from a beneficiary, who is Dorothy, who will speak on behalf of the beneficiaries. But what that eco stove has done is that it has reduced a lot of labor from the women, because women have been spending one load in a week. They need 3 loads of firewood, and the firewood is collected very many kilometers deep into the forest. So you find that 4 hours of a woman's day is spent on collecting firewood, or even more. And you still have time to go and look for water. You need time to cook, to clean. So now with one load, that woman can cook for a whole week with just one load. It has reduced from 3 to 1. So that has eased a lot of pressure on the women. And it's providing multiple benefits, because also it is time saving, because it's a double burner. And it also makes the kitchen look very beautiful. All this has been funded by Three Sisters, and we are grateful. Thank you, Madeline.
Thank you so much, Mercy. It's always so wonderful to hear from you, and you have such deep knowledge and wisdom about working with the women in the community. So thank you. And thank you, Dorothy, again, for being here with us. It's amazing to have you direct on the screen. So yeah, please, if you could share with us some of your experiences of the benefits for women of the work you've been doing in MEFICAP with ITF. Dorothy, you're on mute. There we go.
I'm saying thank you so much, everyone. I am a Three Sister, and I'm so happy to be here with the Mercy. I want first to thank Mercy because she has brought us a lot of information, and we have gone very far. Actually, she has said everything, but as the beneficiary, I can see the problem we are doing for restoration. It is not only to the landscape or to the forest. It is restoring even the heart, the mind, economical of the women. Because like the community we are working in, most of the work, or when there is problem, all that problem is mounted to a woman. Especially like now we are in this economical crisis, you can see men doesn't have stability to endure the problems. But women now have taken that responsibility because we have been built capacity through the fundings we are getting from Three Sisters and the right. Like when we were doing the spot weeding, you see, like how Masa said, we have 65% of women getting that money, and after they get money, they get food in their house. They save some money. There are some women who are in rental houses. They pay for the rent and also pay for the school fees of their kids. So the money we get, and it goes to many women, the more the impact it is feeling. Because if it has gone 1,000 you give to a man, maybe he can spend 700 for himself and then come with that shillings, that 300. But for the lady, she will spend all 1,000 in the household. So as women in MEFICAP, we are so grateful. And me being the contact person, I can see how women are moving from one step to another, economically, where otherwise, and even they have the voice. Because when somebody asks something tangible, you have the voice and you have a room, even you to give your views. We are doing a very important thing with the support you are giving us. We have a forest which was cut, completely cut, and it was a very thick forest. And unfortunately, sometimes the government can be loose and they cannot follow the instruction. So the area is degraded and it was invaded by invasive species. So it is very hard for the government to support restoration of those forests. And it is a very important area of the habitat of elephant, because elephants come from far lowland, coming to that area when they want to give birth. That is where they come. They give birth and then they feed their young ones, and then they can start moving down. So the restoration of the restoration we are doing is very, very important, not only to us, but even to the entire world. There is now the intervention we have started, agroforestry. That one is directly benefiting the woman, the family, because when we start now getting the wood rods, we start getting the fuel, we start getting the nuts or the fruit. Definitely we have food, nutrition. You can see how this restoration is bringing a lot of impact in even the SDGs. Because when I look at it, you can see we are working on the SD1, no hunger, no poverty, eradication of hunger. We are doing gender equality. We are doing about climate change. You can see how the important project we are doing, how it is bringing the women. And what makes me even very happy and work very hard is the equality of our woman. Because in Kenya, I think other countries have their own culture. Women were not around to be having trees or to be being about trees, but now through these empowerment seminars, the resources we are getting, we are now topping. Instead of being down, we are topping. And I think the capacity we are getting from the support of Mercy and the ITF, it is really, really touching the real person. Just recently, as Mercy has mentioned, we had installed the eco stove. Old women here in Kenya, most of them have the drill stove. And with that drill stove, they really strain their chest, their eyes, and even affording to have those food. Some have given us a lot of very encouraging story on how she was coughing like every night, but now that thing has gone down. He had a lot of problem with his eyes. Now that one has gone down, meaning the health otherwise of that woman is improving, and even the time she was spending to get a lot of food has come down. So we have a lot of stories, good stories, but I would like you, one day, you come with the team and then come and see what we are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. It's so fascinating to hear about all the multitude of effects that these projects can truly have, and this reflects the whole idea of it being holistic restoration. It is so much more than just planting trees, what actually happens. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for that invitation. It is absolutely a dream of ours to be able to go and be with you in the lands and with the forests and with the trees. So I hope one day we make it. Okay, so thank you so much, Dorothy and Mercy. I'm going to move on because of a time today. So yeah, thank you again. And now let's move on to the wonderful team from Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative. So it's always such a joy to be with you. We have been partnering with Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative since the start of 2023. It has been an absolute pleasure and just a phenomenal inspiration. to witness the work of this women-led grassroots group from Kasese, Uganda. They have been working incredibly successfully at this intersection between women's empowerment and landscape restoration. And they have been working in partnership with Tree Sisters and in one project also with ITF on 2 projects, one in Mbunga and one in Rukoki. So it is a total honor to welcome here Masika Margaret, who is the chairperson, Ngangasi Celeste, who is the monitoring and evaluation officer, and Masika Elder, who is the extension officer for the project in Rukoki. So thank you so much for being here with us. Please could you start off by sharing with us the overall vision of Alpha Women Empowerment's work in Mbunga and Rukoki and how you are working with women?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Using the support from Tree Sisters through the National Tree Foundation and the support from Daughters for the Earth through Tree Sisters respectively, the overall vision of Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative work in Mbunga Sub-County, Bulembia Division, and Rukoki Sub-County, Kasese District, Uganda, is to empower the women in restoring the environment through tree and grass planting and improve the women livelihood through income generating activities and skills development. Through these projects, we have achieved successes. Among those, our projects have established 6 nursery beds. 2 nursery beds are in Mbunga Sub-County, 2 nursery beds in Bulembia Division, and 2 nursery beds in Rukoki Sub-County. All these 6 nursery beds have a capacity of producing 200,000 tree and bamboo grass seedlings. These trees include both agronomic and fruit trees. These trees include both agroforestry and fruit trees. These trees and grass nursery beds have helped the women to acquire skills on nursery bed management, including grafting trees. The nursery beds have also helped the women to access tree and bamboo grass which they have grown. For example, during our phase 1 project, we had a beneficiary called Bamboo Jerida. One of our beneficiaries in Mbunga Sub-County received 72 pawpaw trees and has already started yielding. Last season, she harvested and sold pawpaw fruits, which helped her to earn 320,000 shillings. That is Uganda money. She told us that she used part of the pawpaw to improve her nutrition, and other pawpaws she gives them to her children also to improve her nutrition. She also reported that other trees which she planted are providing shades in her garden, also at her home. So my friend can also add it.
Okay, thank you, the chairperson. Masika Elder, I work with Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative as the extension officer under the project of regenerating communities and empowering women through agroforestry in Kasese, Uganda, that is being implemented in Rukoki Sub-County, Kasese District. To add on what the chairperson has said, also on the success stories about how the project is benefiting the women, is that Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative established 2 tailoring skill centers, and one is in Mbunga Sub-County, and then the second one is in Bulembia Division, Kasese District, Uganda. At these skill centers, we managed to train 70 women in making materials such as reusable sanitary pads, and the women use the skill acquired to make reusable sanitary pads, and which these sanitary pads, they sell them and earn some income. And this income is used to buy food for the children, to pay school fees, and also to do other work at home. And part of it is reinvested back to buy some garments to use while making the reusable sanitary pads. Also, Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative has access to reusable sanitary pads, which it gives to vulnerable girls and women in the community. For example, last year, that is 2023, Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative supported 119 school-going girls with reusable sanitary pads. And this year, 2024, we also supported 237 school-going girls in Bulembe Division, which helped them to continue in school and improve on their academic performance. And this was due before we supported them with these reusable sanitary pads. Whenever a girl is on menstruation, they have to be absent for that day and their performance declines in class. But due to this support, the head teacher of Kianjuki Primary School, that is found in the Bulembe Division, he reported to us that during the recent midterm exams, the girls performed highly than the boys because of this support of reusable sanitary pads. It has at the same time improved their performance and also their hygiene. Another thing is that in Irukoki, we trained 40 gender champions, and these were women. And these gender champions are mainstreaming gender in the families which have gender issues. They conduct radical listening meetings with the family members and create awareness on how families can stay in harmony. For example, one of our gender champions from Rukoki, that is Mbambu Marion, reached one of the families, that is the family of Muhindo Judith, who is our beneficiary, and her husband, who is Dennis Takwenda. And this family was facing a challenge of domestic violence due to the fact that the husband was complaining that the woman takes long time in preparing food, and also the food that is being presented to the man has a scent of smoke. And this was due to that the DC beneficiary Muhindo Judith was using a traditional 3-stone cooking stove. She was using it, and it consumes a lot of firewood, it produces a lot of smoke, and it is contaminated in the food. So they had quarrels basing on this. And when Mbambu Marion visited them, she connected this woman, Muhindo Judith, to Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative to be trained on how to make energy-saving cook stoves. And then Judith was among the women whom we trained about how to make energy-saving cook stoves. And she, after acquiring this skill through that training, she went and constructed her own energy-saving cook stove that does not bring back the smoke to her while cooking, because it has a chimney where smoke passes, and also it is faster in cooking. So this family is now living in harmony. And so far there are 161 women who have acquired this skill, and they have constructed their energy-saving cook stove. These energy-saving cook stoves have helped women not to go very far to look for firewood, because for them they consume less firewood, they are fast in cooking, and they do not darten the saucepan. So their sanitation at home has improved, and also it has reduced deforestation because it uses less firewood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Ngangasi Celeste. I work for Alpha Women Empowerment Initiative as the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer. Just to supplement on what my colleagues have just talked about, also supplement the Rukoki project, which we call Regenerating Communities and Empowering Women through Agroforestry in Kasese, Uganda, being supported by Daughters for the Earth through Tree Sisters. We have also managed to establish 321 kitchen gardens, which are supporting the vulnerable women to get good nutrition and income. This was done after realizing the need of high malnutrition in the most families in the Rukoki sub-county. Rukoki sub-county, which is a hilly area subjected to a lot of soil erosion, and the crop production is very low. So we brought this innovation to ensure that the beneficiaries can have crops even grown near their homes, and the kitchen gardens are doing very well, and the beneficiaries have started earning income. Also, maybe to go back to the Mbunga project, we had the Mbunga project in two phases. We had phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, we established 5 apiaries where the women are doing beekeeping to support their livelihood. And in Blambia, we established we're having apiaries with a total of 50 beehives. They're also supporting women to add good livelihood. The harvest in Mbunga already started, and the demand is very high. The women are earning a lot of money from that, and the apiaries are also being used as training centers where other women come and acquire the skills on the beekeeping. It's a very good innovation that has helped the women to earn income, and also is helping them to get good nutrition. And by virtue that honey is having a local medicinal value, they are also utilizing it for that purpose. We also, what I will not leave behind is we are exposing the community to different types of trees and different technologies. I will give an example of the tree exhibition which we conducted in quarter 1 and quarter 2 of the phase 2 project. The exhibition attracted over 1,000 people, community members from different areas. The local leaders from the district came and attended, including the Natural Resource Office of the district forest officer, the sub-county chief, sub-county chiefs from different areas, and other leaders, plus other focal persons in the area, alongside the community members. We exhibited a number of trees. We had medicinal trees, agroforestry trees, shady trees, among others. And the exhibition was very interesting because it was participatory. We also hired a consultant from Toro Botanical Garden who came to join us in explaining the different values and methods of raising those trees. What I can say, the community acquired a lot of knowledge from that exhibition, and which they are applying. It has raised a lot of demand on our side. Many community members, even from the neighboring areas, they are coming, they are flooding at our office, and whenever they meet our team, requesting us to extend our services to their area, because they are hearing about the good impact that is happening in where we have so far reached. I think for now, based on the time that was given to us, we shall still come in. For the meantime, I'll still thank the Tree Sisters, International Tree Foundation, and Daughters for the Earth for the support that you're giving to us. It is enabling us to cause an impact in the community. If time allows, we have a number of activities that we can talk about, but we're just following the rule of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ngangasi Celeste, yes. Masika Margaret, Masika Elder. We really appreciate you being here. And yes, unfortunately, I know we could have had a whole webinar for each project, is the truth. But for today, yeah, we don't have time for any more from you right now because we need to move on to Colombia. But thank you so much. You are like just the greatest inspiration to us at Tree Sisters, and we are so grateful to be partnering with you. And we just want to thank you always for your exceptional dedication to your communities and landscapes and women. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to move on to Colombia now. And so the project here is led by the local organization Cordespa and is working closely with families, schools, and women's groups to restore the forests around the edges of national and local protected areas in Belén de los Andequíes in Caquetá. So we have joining us today Mariana Garcia Morales, who is the responsible of communications at Cordespa, and we have Maria Isabel Gonzalez, who is the legal representative of the Ayacuna Association of Women Entrepreneurs. Okay, great. There you are. Okay, so I am going to switch my speaking language to Spanish to talk with Mariana and Maria Isabel. So please, everyone, make sure that you have your captions set with your caption language in English and the translation toggle switched on so that you can follow us. Okay. Ahora espero que salga bien si estoy hablando en español. Por favor, alguien avísame si no está saliendo bien. Ok, entonces, gracias Mariana, gracias María Isabel por estar aquí con nosotras hoy. Mariana, si podemos hablar con usted, por favor, si nos puede compartir acerca de la intención general del proyecto y de qué maneras participan las mujeres. Y si podemos tener las diapositivas de Mariana, por favor. If we could have the slides, please, for Mariana. Okay, wonderful. So, Mariana, obviamente el tiempo está un poco limitado, pero vamos que se pueda y gracias.
Bueno, gracias a usted, Madeleine, gracias a Tricister y a todas las personas que están aquí en este webinar. Como Madeleine lo comentó, yo soy Mariana García y acompaño a Cordespa, una organización acá en Caquetá, pues a comunicar lo que se hace. Queremos empezar por esta presentación. Aquí es donde queda Belén de los Andaquíes, al sur de Colombia, es en la región amazónica. Siguiente, por favor, next. Y nuestro proyecto, digamos, con quienes estamos trabajando directamente con Tricister, se llama así, Restauración y Consolidación de Corredores Biológicos en Belén de los Andaquíes, Caquetá. De esta unión con Cordespa y Tricister, y diseñamos una marca, un nombre de proyecto local, que es la siguiente, por favor, que se llama Sembramos Vida. Sembramos Vida es Next. Sembramos Vida, este es el logo que identificamos y a partir de este logo o eslogan que trabajamos, vamos a contarles un poco cómo es que se trabaja con las mujeres en este proyecto que acompaña a Tricister en Colombia. Next. ¿Cuál es la meta? Sembrar 100.000 árboles y para esto hemos organizado como 3 pasos, porque no es solo sembrar por sembrar, sino que esto va acompañado de un proceso. Entonces tenemos un primer componente que se llama restauración participativa y comunitaria. Allí se trabaja directamente con las mujeres, con los niños, las niñas. Ya les vamos a contar un poco qué hacemos. Un segundo componente que va con el tema de educación ambiental, que se hace con instituciones educativas rurales, se trabaja con organizaciones locales también de allí del municipio. Y un tercer componente que hace parte del fortalecimiento organizativo y social. Todo esto pues con miras a plantar o a sembrar estos 100.000 árboles en Belén de los Andaquíes. Next. La pregunta que se nos hacía es ¿cómo participamos las mujeres en este proceso? Digamos, del equipo técnico hacemos parte de mujeres. Allí ustedes ven a Ingrid, que es la bióloga del proyecto y es quien junto a los hombres pues acompaña el tema de educación ambiental, sobre todo con niños y niñas. Y vamos a contarles cómo es la participación de las mujeres en este proyecto. Next. En este primer momento que nos convoca, que es la restauración participativa y comunitaria, las mujeres, junto a las mujeres, identificamos esas fuentes semilleras, o sea, lo primero que se hace es identificar dónde están las semillas. Luego se hace un proceso de georreferenciación de rodales, se recolectan estas semillas, esto se hace con mujeres, se hace con niños, niñas, con escuelas rurales, y luego de que se recolectan estas semillas, se cuidan en un vivero. Acá en el municipio se han construido 5 viveros, uno que queda en el municipio, en el casco urbano, y 4 que quedan en la parte rural. Y aquí es donde vamos a hacer un clic grande, porque es en el cuidado de estos viveros donde está el mayor acompañamiento de mujeres. Allí cada vivero tiene una mujer que cuida las plantas, que ayuda a embolsarlas desde su germinación hasta la transferencia a las bolsas. Cuando se pasa, cuando ya están fuertes, se pasa directamente a las bolsas. Estas mujeres son seleccionadas por la comunidad, ellas van rotando, tienen unas características, son mujeres que viven allí cerca al vivero, preferiblemente que sean mayores, mujeres mayores que no tienen ingresos, porque se les da un apoyo por cuidar este vivero, y ellas son las encargadas de entregar al equipo y de acompañar estas siembras pues de las semillas nativas, que es el último paso. Next, por favor. Estas son 5 de las mujeres sembradoras de vida, como los llamamos. Ellas son quienes son las encargadas de cuidar estos viveros. Ellas van rotando, y la meta pues estamos sembrando 18 especies de uso forestal y agroforestal. En la siguiente diapositiva hicimos un recuento de cuáles son las semillas de algunas especies que se están sembrando. Next. Va a quedar allí como para que por si se quiere ver en algún momento la grabación, pero acá están las 18 especies que estamos tratando de propagar en nuestro municipio. Ahí está el nombre científico, el nombre común y a qué grupo pertenece. Next, por favor. Hacemos siembras colectivas después de que las mujeres cuidan estos viveros, cada mañana riegan pues con el agua y eso. Estas bolsitas, estas plantas se llevan a las escuelas rurales sobre todo, y se hacen jornadas de siembra con organizaciones. Esta fotografía es una jornada de siembra que se hizo con una institución educativa rural. Next, por favor. ¿Y dónde sembramos nosotros estas semillas? ¿Cuáles son nuestras estrategias de restauración? Entonces, estas plantas las sembramos en las rondas hídricas. Belén de los Andaquíes es un municipio rico en agua, en ríos, y estamos sembrando estas 100.000 plántulas en las rondas hídricas, también en modelos agroforestales. Hay muchos ganaderos y fincas de personas que nos piden estas plántulas para poder brindarle sombra al ganado, y lo que se hace es esas pasturas convertirlas en sistemas silvopastoriles. También hay un ejercicio que se está haciendo de hacer restauración vial. Estas plantas se siembran a las orillas de las carreteras, también con el acompañamiento de las mujeres, los niños y las niñas, y se está sembrando también en áreas boscosas, de donde son las semillas nativas, pues para que tengan un buen crecimiento, sobre todo las maderables. Next, por favor. Se hace un proceso de educación ambiental, acá lo podemos visibilizar. Estos viveros se convierten en aulas vivas donde el equipo técnico, pero también las cuidadoras de estos viveros les enseñan a los niños desde la semilla, el cuidado de cada planta y se convierten en talleres ambientales y pues se hace con comunidades educativas y con comunidades campesinas. Algunos, next, please. Hay algunos encuentros de educación ambiental. Acá tenemos el ejemplo, se llena con los niños las bolsas, ahí se les va conversando en la importancia de cuidar y de proteger, se hacen jornadas de dibujo para poder, pues que todas, no solo las mujeres, sino también los niños y las niñas conozcan la importancia de estas semillas y las vivan, o sea, las tengan presentes en parte de su territorio. Next. Y en el
Mariana,
establecimiento,
Mariana, creo que vamos a
sí,
necesitar pasar a María Isabel para que ella tenga chance de hablar. ¿No
listo.
hay algún puntito final que quieres agregar y luego pasamos a María
La
Isabel?
siguiente, por favor.
Gracias.
Next, please. Este es un intercambio de semillas que se hizo también con las mujeres de Yacuná, pero también con mujeres que cuidan las semillas y se hacen next, please, capacitaciones en biodiversidad, intercambios de saberes. Acá estamos con Isabel y le damos paso entonces a Isabel para que nos cuente sobre la organización y sobre estos intercambios de saberes que ellas acompañan. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Mariana. Muchísimas gracias. Y María Isabel, si nos puede compartir un poco, por favor, sobre el trabajo de mujeres Ayocuna y tal vez contarnos una historia de cómo el proyecto está beneficiando a las mujeres. Y gracias.
Hola para todos, para todas, buenos días, desde Colombia, buenos días. Muchas gracias por el espacio, gracias a todos. Qué chévere poder ver cada una de estas iniciativas de mujeres en el mundo, cómo estamos haciendo esta red, cada una desde el espacio en los que estamos. Gracias por la invitación. Yo creo que no tenemos tiempo de hacer una presentación en PowerPoint, ¿cierto? Pues como los de pantalla. Entonces vamos a hacerlo, voy a hacerlo entonces más bien así a manera de charla. Desde Ayacuná, nosotras somos una organización de mujeres aquí en Belén de los Andaquíes, como decía Mariana, al sur del Caquetá, al sur de Colombia, perdón. Y aquí venimos trabajando justo en temas de aprovechamiento sostenible de la biodiversidad. En este caso, pues hacemos todo un proceso de estudio de los bosques, miramos cuáles son las especies de plantas que tienen potencial de bioeconomía. En este caso, pues nos aseguramos que sean especies, pues por un lado, que no estén en riesgos, que no estén en peligros, que sean buenas fuentes de semilleros, pero que también sean especies que podamos nosotros seguir propagando, y pues fomentando como tal el desarrollo de los bosques. Ayacuná somos 72 mujeres que venimos trabajando en el municipio. De esas 72 mujeres estamos abarcando alrededor de 10 veredas. Es un buen espacio aquí en el territorio donde venimos pues trabajando con diferentes núcleos de mujeres. Y un dato muy importante es que alrededor del 54% del territorio que nosotras habitamos, afortunadamente y gracias a la gobernanza ambiental que se ha venido desarrollando en el municipio, pues este porcentaje se ha logrado conservar mediante diferentes figuras de protección. Esto nos ha permitido hoy en día como mujeres digamos, conocernos el territorio, pero también mirar el potencial que tenemos de biodiversidad para seguir haciendo procesos de aprovechamiento, pero procesos de restauración, de reforestación, bueno, diferentes procesos que nos permitan a nosotras también preservar esta parte de la Amazonía. Desde Cordespa, esto ha sido una experiencia enriquecedora. Cordespa ha venido trabajando con nosotras en un proceso muy significativo para nosotras, y es que de esas 72 mujeres que tenemos, la mayoría de estas mujeres trabajan o algunas tienen ganadería extensiva que ha hecho que por años atrás y digamos a la cultura tradicional de la ganadería que se llevaba acá en esa parte de la Amazonía y en esa parte de Colombia, pues fuera una ganadería extensiva que pues promovió gran parte de la deforestación que hoy en día pues tratamos de volver a revertir. Entonces, trabajamos con Cordespa justo en seguir creando sistemas agroforestales que sean estratégicos para crear corredores biológicos y de esta manera poder devolverle a esta parte de la Amazonía esa conexión entre, digamos, como la cordillera y la llanura amazónica. Entonces, entre esa cordillera y esa llanura amazónica, por mucho tiempo y de acuerdo a la deforestación en la ganadería extensiva, esa parte se perdió. Y esto es lo que estamos haciendo ahorita con las mujeres de nuestra organización y pues también en apoyo con Cordespa, con estos viveros que ellos han venido implementando, pues venimos haciendo sistemas agroforestales, haciendo todo este proceso. Entonces es un proceso enriquecedor no solamente para nosotras, sino para todo el territorio en general, porque a partir de esto, de estos sistemas agroforestales, la mayoría de estas mujeres que son madres cabeza de hogar, mujeres víctimas del conflicto armado que hemos vivido en Colombia, puedan tener también unos ingresos por, digamos, reforestar con árboles que generen alimentos. Entonces, estamos, digamos, todo este trabajo ha sido muy bonito, esta red ha sido muy bonita porque se está creando prácticamente doble propósito, o sea, las comunidades, la economía, pero también cómo estamos conservando esta Amazonía. Entonces, desde Ayacuná, esto ha sido una experiencia súper enriquecedora porque va también muy alineada con las metas que tenemos desde la asociación y también revisándonos desde las mujeres como, digamos, no solamente es ese espacio holístico de vivir con la naturaleza, sino que también necesitamos es ver cómo podemos económicamente sostenernos y pues vivir nuestras familias, nuestros hijos, nuestras hijas, y cómo darle continuidad también a vivir en un espacio tranquilo, pero un espacio que nos genere también un retorno en los alimentos y en el buen vivir. No sé si la traducción también ha hecho buen trabajo.
Sí, de
Esto,
hecho, parece que ha hecho bien, estoy impresionada. Y gracias, María Isabel, lo siento por la falta de tiempo, pero gracias a las dos por compartir y es tan hermoso escuchar más sobre su trabajo. Así que bueno, vamos cerrando ahora. Em, so, voy a volver a poner mi lengua al inglés. Okay, so back to English. And yeah, I mean, what an absolute joy to hear from all of these wonderful partners. I hope everyone here has enjoyed this and been as inspired as I always am when I hear from our partners. I'm sorry we've run out of time for any questions, but if you do want to follow up on anything by email, please do reach out to support@treesisters.org. Please do also check out our website because there are other amazing projects centering women and working with women, particularly in the DRC and in Bolivia. So please do go and read about those projects on our website. I think the link might be in the chat. And above all, we truly want to extend our gratitude to all of you, our supporters, who have been donating to Tree Sisters and making this work possible. We hugely appreciate your support. And as a crowdfunding organization, we do depend on our generous supporters like you to sustain this work. Your contributions are essential to these women, to these communities, and these ecosystems. And we can only continue to partner with these incredible projects with your support. So if you haven't already, please consider signing up as a monthly donor or sharing our mission with your friends, with your networks to spread the word. We would really love to make this a long-term reality. We do believe that together we can create true sustainable change. So yeah, if you have been inspired and you want to support us further, we've got a link in the chat where you can sign up or make donations through our website. And yeah, so thank you once again to all of our amazing speakers for being here with us, for your consistent, phenomenal work and for your amazing stories. And thank you to everyone else who has joined us today and who joins us on the replay. We really hope that you've enjoyed this event. And if you do want to join more Tree Sisters activities, we have got the full moon meditation tomorrow and a book club coming up on the 23rd of October. So please do look on our website to follow those. And we will also share the replay of this event if you do want to share it with anyone else to spread this beautiful work. So thank you so much. We hope to see you again sometime soon, and take care and stay connected with nature.